Smith Lord Creation makes bootleg, fake, repo Star Wars action figures and accessories. This has upset some of the Star Wars collectors, and some of us, like myself, feel that it does more harm than good.
Okay, stop the video. I know what you're going to say. Some of you going to say, Junkman, you're selling your repo shirts. That's the same thing. You're fussing at this guy. Why are you selling reproduction shirts? No, it's not the same thing. Why? These aren't reproduction shirts. These aren't shirts that look like they were made in the 80s. They're not copies of shirts made from the 80s. Sure, you might say, you use some of the logos from the 80s, and that's copyrighted, and so are these figures, so you shouldn't do it. Maybe I shouldn't, and that's not what I'm arguing with this guy about either, because I don't care about the copyright. It's about the reproduction. It's about making something that looks real and can be sold as real, and nobody's gonna buy a shirt from me and throw it up on eBay like it's a real shirt from 1981. Come on, don't use that dumb excuse. It's stupid, but a lot of you will say it. Now back to the video.
My first video on his fake action figures started a debate about if it's okay to make fake Star Wars weapons, Star Wars figures. Should we, as a collector's community, accept it or support it? Well, I flew to the UK to sit down and talk with the maker of these fake toys one-on-one. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't really fly. I just turned on my computer and went to Google Hangout. I didn't use Skype because I wanted to make sure my camera was on. Still, retro blasting, you could have let me know my camera wasn't on. But it's cool. Still a good fun video. But here's my interview with Chris Smith, kind of to get his side. I put a video out there all on my side, and I don't think it's fair to do a one-sided argument. So this isn't going to be a mudslinging interview or a gotcha interview or me screaming at how bad he is or anything like that. Seems like a decent guy, and doing this interview was more to get his side of the story, so it wasn't just all one-sided. So now, here's my interview with Chris Smith of Smith Lord Creations. Junkman back again with another video, and I'm here with the Smith Lord, the guy we've heard so much about the last about the last couple of months. Now, before we get started, let me just ask you a few questions, and I'll let you have your say. But kind of backstory more than anything. Do you collect, or do you just do these? I'll call them repo. I'll be nice and call them repo.
Yeah. No, I did, like everyone else, like yourself, got into Star Wars at a young age, 5, from the film New Hope. Maybe didn't start collecting until about 7-year-old. Well, it was actually David Prowse came into my local in Saltburn, and actually Jeff dressed up as Darth Vader was doing like a promotional thing at the toy shop. So I met him, and then then I bought the Darth Vader figure then, and then it just went off from there. And then maybe stopped when I was about 10-year-old. And I didn't even know about the Power of the Force line until maybe 7 years ago when I got my son into Star Wars. So he's 12. So it was about 7 years ago, and I got him to Star Wars because I just think when he was in his head in like an Xbox and an iPad or whatever. But I just wanted him to enjoy the vintage line.
Okay, so you don't really collect yourself anything?
Yeah, I did. Well, I've started collect. This is the thing, when I got him into it. No, I haven't collected all that time, no, so there was a big, massive gap, but I collected a few. I was mainly collecting for him, and to be honest, I did actually collect just original, but I just found myself saying to him, don't do this, don't play, oh, careful with that, and it was just like, I want him to enjoy it, so I did that. I don't know. I collect now and again, but not, it's more, like I say, reproduction stuff, and especially when I want to put him to play with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got that. And do you have a supplier that makes them for you? I had a lot of people ask me that.
Yeah, well, that's the so this is well, it's a bit of a long story, but yeah, I met this geezer through. Well, it was me and my partner were at a festival. We owned a V-Dub, an old T2 V-Dub 79, and we went to a V-Dub show. I think it was about 2016. Met this lad, and basically talked me into buying these weapons, which well, actually, I got done over with these weapons, and then it went on. I was selling them in the UK, and I sold a few of these layer blasters. What was it? I forget what site it was. And then and then I was getting a bit of feedback. How have you got these? And I wasn't so sure, and I wasn't really too much into Star Wars and then the reproduction side of everything. So I was like, well, I've got these off this lad I met, blah, blah. But it was a story he told me at the festival about this ex Kenner worker, and then when it came to the Imperial Gunnery, it took them a couple of months to decide that they were real or not. And like they actually rang me up and messaged me on Messenger and said, "Could you send us one of these glasses?" I was like, "Yeah, sure," because I thought I was so sure they were original because I didn't really know. I read on the Imperial Gunnery the 3 rules, the drop, the float, and the transfluence thing. So then I sent them, and then it took them about 2 months, and then they said it was reproduction, and obviously I got in touch back with this lad because he would only message me about the week before saying he had some Jawa ones coming. So I was like, so then I met up with this lad and I said, "Look, these have come back such and such. These are reproductions." He said, "No, they're not." And I said, "I want to meet the supplier." So it came, and he said, "Well, you can meet him, but just please, because he said, just ask him if he's worked with Kenner, if he worked for Kenner. That's all I want you to ask him." And I thought, well, there was red flag straight away. And I said, "Yeah, I'll ask him. I'll just ask him that." And then when I met him, this geezer, I just said, "Look, do you know are these real or not?" He said, "No, the reproduction." So this lad was selling them on to me. So that was basically that was the end of the middleman. He'd gone, basically. We had a big fight, and I got to meet this supplier. So yeah, he was so-called like this work for Kenner. So it's one of them where he wanted to stay anonymous because he knew what, the big divide, what's all it is and stuff like that. But he's a bit I would say disgusting. He's like just the prices of everything, and he just wanted to make these weapons. But he was only going to make weapons until we got loads of requests, obviously, for these figures. So I started doing the figures. But yeah, I think we've got about 20 weapons, the main 20 weapons, I think, done. And then onto obviously the figures. But yeah, it was a bit of a mad one really, because I wasn't like majorly into Star Wars until about 7 years ago again.
Okay, well that's the one I'll bring up really quick here. What's in the bag here? Because I got I did a review part 1 video already on these, and I mean I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like repros, as you know, but I was impressed by them. I'll give you that. Let me just pull up the. I know people won't be able to see it, but part 1 video you'll be able to see it better. I can't really tell a difference, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
that was my biggest gripe. Is
if you have
put a little letter on the muzzle, if you could put a little symbol or something on it.
I understand people. I completely understand that the Imperial Gunnery is there for a reason. But if you do have an original, I suppose. If you have an original there and one beside it, the flash, it does make them different on purpose. The flash and the finish on it's just smoother and newer, but it's one of them where you have to have the Imperial Gunnery there to have a look as well, because it's great sight to help and everything, and he makes every weapon with differences on purpose. So if you do have,
I put it next to another one. I really couldn't tell. It felt the same. It felt everything.
Oh, but, yeah, the weight and the things, yeah.
So, well, what's your reason for why do you think it's okay? Maybe I should ask.
Well, I understand both sides, but the reason I think when it comes to Repro versus original, I think it's more of an honesty thing. Basically, I think there would be no problem if there wasn't the minority that obviously try to pass it on. I don't think there'd be a problem at all. But obviously, that shouldn't, harm the people that do want to collect Repro just for the displays and stuff and collections. Now, I have friends. Well, he's major Star Wars fan, and unfortunately, he doesn't really. It's one of them where you look at the bigger picture. You've got your house, you've got your malls, you've got your bills, electric, TV license, and these weapons or these things are ridiculous prices. And he only has a few figures, and he's a massive Star Wars fan. He sold them when he was younger, lost interest, but now he's a massive fan. And some people just can't justify the prices. That's the main thing. I mean, like you said, I respected when you said you wait for a helmet for like 10 years or whatever it was, but some people, I don't see the problem. If you're going to just get a reproduction helmet, there until you're maybe lucky enough to, get the original, really. And it's just a big dictation where like people are sort of bossing to tell people don't do this when it's just a toy that their memories of their like probably the happiest time of their life, just to collect, you know, figures with weapons. I really don't see a problem. But that's, you know, and obviously a lot of other people don't see the problem. But it's that divide, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Again, my only problem, it makes it really hard for people like me that want the real things. I find
yeah.
on eBay, I have to go to Facebook and ask 12 people and get 10 different answers.
Just got to. I know. Well, this is the same with any walk. You know, you could get someone who bought a dodgy car or anything. You don't, or anything dodgy. You're always going to get dodgy people in any walk of life. I think you've just got to trust. I think obviously you do your homework a bit, but you just got to trust them. And in this, like, I know you said in your first interview or when you called me out on eBay, you said, oh, it's not up for the buyer to ask. Well, I think completely is up to the buyer to ask, because and eBay do advise you to ask, you know, the seller, you know, is it, ask as many questions as you can, you know. And I think once you've asked them, and it is, say if it does come back reproduction, you just get a refund. I mean, you shouldn't have to. You should be telling the truth straight away.
Yeah, it's just hard to ask questions if you're on.
Yeah, I mean,
when you got an hour left on the auction and you got, you know,
I just ask a question. And to be honest, if someone says I'm not sure, I don't like that when people say I'm not sure with it, because like I said, the Imperial gun is there. If you've got a weapon or whatever, you know how you've got there. You know how you've got there. So you've got to take it as a. If someone says I don't know if it's original, I always say, well, it's, you know, probably 90% reproduction if they say that, because they wouldn't know. I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, if somebody puts in a description, not sure if repo, then that tells me it is.
That's what I think. I just think reproduction straight away. It's one of those things where you can't really do much about people doing that. But yeah, I see both sides, but I see the side where people want to, you know, collect. I don't know, just complete the collection for you know, and they're as good as they can. That's the way it is.
Now, someone bought a yak face already and resold it, right? From you.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. I mean, I couldn't think of a worse scenario. At first, when I heard it, I was thinking, is this a trap thing? Like, just you know, someone's done this to like then make me look bad. I couldn't believe it. To be honest, I think it was one of the worst things was I had a waiting list as well, and not somebody came, and to sell it to someone that was, you know, deceitful like that, I was just complete. And like, I'm like you, I hate the thought of this. I really do, and I don't condone it. When people have asked me on eBay before, oh, well, could you just leave my CEO on? And I've blocked them. I've just said, look, I don't want your business tomorrow. That's not me at all. And I was shocked that someone tried to do that with the, and especially, I'm not going to call out this, you know, Star Wars group, but they're a very strict group, and he was a member of my group, but that just shows, you know, there's wrong, you know, good and wrong in everyone, really.
Yeah.
And then obviously you said about the CEOs, but I've obviously tried to make this change for both sides, like not meet halfway, but obviously do it where my fans are still are like collectors, they're happy with it. I know you were saying spent arm or not, but I've got to think about it. Like, I wouldn't be able to make them. I wouldn't be able to make them, but I wouldn't be able to sell them, I don't think, if there was, you know, too much of a change. I think the stamp I've got now is fair enough. I really do. Because
did you put your name on the back of the figures?
It's got it on the where Snaggletooth's got it on the boot. It hasn't got it on them. They've been already made, the ones that you've received there.
Yeah,
they're just black. They're just blank. But the Snaggletooth's got it on his boots. See it, SLC on his boot, and Yakface has got it on his leg, where normally the thing would be.
Yeah, that's what I said. If you could just put it right where the copyright would be, just
the
name. I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those. If you said, oh, he bent his leg arm a bit, I think it'd be like you'd be maybe looking at a figure thinking, well, is his arm bent enough? Or I think it's just easy enough. Turn the leg over. I honestly think that's, you know. That's,
I can see it, but I see if it was bent a little bit. I don't think it's easy to rip people off. Not you ripping people off, but somebody buying it from you.
No, and another thing. Not that it's major, but when you said about 10 figures in a pack or whatever, someone might say, well, like I said, my figures aren't that cheap for reproduction. So it's one of them where it's like £40, you'd have to put maybe 9 figures, 10 figures, and you're still going to be asking quite a bit to be getting your money back. Do you know what I mean? So all you do is ask the question: is it a real yak? And if not, it's a refund. And it is a bit of time.
Yeah, and honestly, after you sent me the Luke Skywalker, I'm going to be honest, I did a review on it. I can tell pretty easy by looking at the face.
Exactly, it's just like
that the face is a lot different than the original. So I think anybody that knows what they're doing shouldn't be ripped off.
Yeah.
But again, it's hard. That's the bad thing. It's a lot easier to buy in person when you can feel something and touch it than eBay and you got to auction it. That's about the end.
Yeah.
People have asked me, now you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. What kind of profit are you making?
So the profit, well, honestly, 100%, I'm not sure. Like, the steel molds are a ridiculous price. So until
I figured it wasn't cheap. I know people say he's probably, offering a lot of it, but
the steel mold is like about $3,000. It's costing me on one figure.
No, really.
Yeah, it's like seriously. So then, like, I've got to think about money. I think if I was to sell, I'd say 200 to 300, I'd be breaking. But then obviously you've got your production, your plastics, your painting, your assembling of everything. So I'm probably talking. I'm not put it this way. I'm not making any profit at the moment. If the missus knew how much I spent, she'd kill me. But yeah, I think I've got to make about. I've got to sell about 200, 300 figures to break even, I think.
Okay, it's not like you're over there pocketing.
So I am.
Not that you're paying $5 for them and selling them for $80.
No, yeah, exactly. No, it's.
Okay, and my next gripe here is, let me get it out. This is very hard to tell the difference.
What's it? The coin?
The coin.
It's heavy.
The copyright date says 84 on it.
It's heavy.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
All right.
This one's real thin. The real one's real thin.
Right. And I feel like
I can tell touching it easily, but a picture of it on eBay, I was just curious if you ever thought about leaving maybe taking the CEO off the coin or changing the date on the coin or something, because that's really hard to tell.
Oh, on a picture, yeah, but you just say, is it real? Like, obviously, once you receive it, or you just say, is it real? And then they can't.
Touching it was no question at all.
Oh, yeah. They're heavy. They're heavier as well.
Yeah. So have you thought about maybe doing it with the date taken off like you did the figures?
Well, I am, to be honest, I am, just because of the weight and even the shine of it is a bit different. It's like the different shine to it than an original. So I haven't really, like, a lot of people sell reproduction that they only do one-sided, don't they? They just like, stick it on, I don't know. Someone did. I got a coin from someone, I can't remember who it was, but it was just one-sided. But it probably looks closer, like, with the weight of it, probably felt better than mine. Mine's just like heavy, I think mine's a zinc mixed with something, I can't remember what it is.
Yeah,
but
you can really tell, like the original, it can almost be.
I think the thickness is different as well.
Yeah, but do you sell the coins separately, or do they come with the figure?
I do. I have done separately. It was mainly for the card I made them. I wasn't too for. I think the mold for the steel mold for that, I think, was £650. I think, just for the coin. That was just to do it for the Power of the Force card back, really. But I have sold them separate. I think I was doing £12 or something, but separate. But I wasn't really wanting to sell them separate. It was more for the card back.
Okay, because I know they don't go. A lot of them don't go for a lot. So they go.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's worth somebody's time and sell it.
Yeah.
But they will resell about anything they can.
Yeah.
So if it costs you that much to do them, we're not looking at you're not planning to do a full line of figures.
Oh, definitely not. The thing is, to be honest, I was just wanting to do custom. It was custom first of all. I wanted to do with the Han Solo. This was me and the supplier. We were talked about it, and then I got loads of requests for they said, well, if you're going to do the mold for the body, sure, you could just do an extra head and do the Luke. So then it was we decided to do the Luke, and then obviously you start getting requests for the yak face and the snaggletooth, and it was just like, right, well, and to be fair, custom's a lot harder. So I've got I don't know if you've seen the video of the Banther with the Kevin Sexton.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And he's saying how long it'll take to do a custom, because my man isn't like a custom. He's not a sculptor or anything like that, so it's going to be a lot harder. So while Kevin was doing that, he's done the Banther. I haven't actually seen it, but yeah, so I just decided to do the snag and yak mainly because of funding towards a new line. We wanted to do like obviously slave layer, slave layer. Maybe not tacking now with the Repro line, but you know, wedge or whoever else really. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
what we're
I said in my video, I have no problem with you doing
custom.
figures that's never been made before. In fact, you know.
I think the problem is, mate, I think it's just to do it truly down to money. It's like, I don't know how many car backs you have or what collection you have, but I think it's just down to money. And sometimes a lot of people on the reproduction side don't see it as proper collecting. They just see it as like obviously investments, which is fair enough. But I think that's what it comes down to, money really. And then I see the side where people just love Star Wars but can't afford £400-500 for a figure. So it's like, which is fair enough. I want fans to be like bring a new generation in. I don't know if it's because I'd love to watch down and see your kids playing with vintage Star Wars. I'm not too keen on new Star Wars figures at all. I think the quality is poor. I just think I don't know if it's because we played with them when we were younger, and it's like films. I like all the old '80s films. I got my son into all the '80s films, and then he watches new films, and I just don't. It's one of those things. I just prefer older toys. I think they're not made as. I don't think they're made as well nowadays.
Yeah, like I was telling Retro Blasting, they don't look as. I mean, they look like toys.
They're like too realistic. The faces are too. They look like ornaments in a way. It's like, and just I don't know. It's just they don't look the part for me really. But it's just maybe because and it's one of those things with the retro line. I don't which age are they aiming at? Are they aiming at young kids or like more like us again? Like I'm not sure. I'm not so sure really. But I do like the idea of the retro line. I must admit, but. As long as I don't know what I heard you say the cat or the weapons. I've heard actually a few people say that, so I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, in fact, yours I had a hard time getting the gun in.
Yeah, you have to twist into the same. Well, Luke Storm, because it's taken from the same mold. Luke Storm has the same problem in the original, so you always turn it to the side on the Luke Storm's hand. And
yours feels more hard plastic. Well, I got the original here, and it feels more. It's more of a rubbery feel.
Yeah, on the hand or the
hand.
Yeah.
So you can actually force something in a little bit better. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, the quality's good. That's my biggest problem. If it wasn't so good, I probably wouldn't have never made a video about it.
Yeah, well, I suppose if you make bad ones, you won't sell them. But it's not. Like I say, they're not to trick anyone. They're not to. They're for collections and displays. And I really don't see the problem with that. But obviously, we have deceitful people around, which is the main problem, isn't it?
Did you know the guy that sold the? Do you remember the guy that sold the Yak Face one? Have you talked to him?
I sent him a message straight. Well, it wasn't me who noticed it. It'd been put up on the Smith Lord Creations group, and I was just like, no way, this can't be happening. And I just knew straight away that I'd be getting bombarded. So I was like, I made sure that they sent me the username. So I went onto eBay, and I was just like, what are you like? I said, what are you doing? You've just put my the figure on such for £179, and he sent me a big long message like trying to justify it, saying, well, it's my weapon, it's my figure now, I can do what I want with it. And I was just like, but you're not mentioning in its reproduction. And then and obviously the site who he was a member of, they got in touch with me and they said, oh, could you send me the messages from eBay? And I was like, yeah, no problem. Because I'd sent him like a few, and he was just, and then obviously he got removed from them Star Wars things. But yeah, I didn't know him. He wasn't on the Smith Lord Creations group.
Yeah, I tried to send him a message too, but he didn't reply to me.
No, I don't think he would. Right. That's the thing. Like another thing, what I was saying, like weapons. Yeah, you do get some people say, oh, I don't know if they're real or not. But the figures, people say, oh, is it real? I can't imagine many, especially after that episode, but I can't imagine many people saying, oh, yeah, it's real. And, you're just going to either get moved off eBay or you're going to get flack off it or loads of fans. It's just like, it's one of them, isn't it? You start lying about stuff that's got SLC on the leg, you're going to get, you know, a lot of flat.
Yeah, my biggest problem is the figures. The figures I think are mostly, you can tell if you spend enough time, it's the weapons that really make the collecting hard for somebody like me. Because I still got like 4 figures I can't get weapons for, and I don't trust eBay, so it's been very hard.
Yeah, so I don't know what to say. It's just like one of them where you've got to buy. Sometimes it can be a bit time consuming where you've got to buy and then obviously request a refund. It's just one of them, isn't it? It's just it's happened. Yeah, that's actually happened to me as well before.
Y'all don't know who happened to buy the yak face, do you? That's why I was curious if the guy that bought it ever found out.
All right. No, actually, he said no. Yeah, that's the thing. He said I don't know if he did or not, but he said right, I'll cancel the deal and issue him a refund. But
yeah, you can say that all you want.
Yeah, right.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's it.
Like I said, I would love to see your name on the figure more. Now I noticed on the let me pull it out here just so people know. You did put your name on the card.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That's what I said because well, you said on your video he's making the heat sealed waffle effect. Well, that was just basically to heat seal them up, like. So obviously, that's not really an issue when I've got the name on the back of the card. So,
yeah, I don't have. That's really good. I did a review on it.
I've done it on the mall. Well, actually, the Han Solo didn't. Well, that's a custom, but I didn't even really. I only decided to once the cards, the Han Solo card backs had been printed. So then I was like, all right. So I would do when I need more card backs. But yeah.
Okay. So that's is that on the yak face too?
Yeah, that's on the yak face and the snaggletooth. I think the snaggletooth has like, or is it powerful? Like a green stick. Is that on? So there's a green circle on one of them. And it's just above the green circle as well. So it's on them all.
That's on the figure.
On the card back and the figure, yeah, it's on the card backs. Smith Lord Creations on every card back, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw you added that, and I said, well, that's pretty good. You know, I might would have changed the date on it, but other than that, I said, well, at least he's not trying. You can at least tell you're trying to work both ways with. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to meet everyone. Like,
when I did that video the first time, when I went back and watched it, looked like me, I was attacking everybody, but I was trying to find some middle ground. Hey, you make your figures, but make it so us that don't want the fake ones are not ripped off as easy. So at least that showed me you're trying to at least, come both ways.
Yeah, well, that's it. I've got to do it where obviously I'm obviously got my collectors and buyers. So that's the people I'm trying to please, but I don't want to upset, or like to take the mick and, make everyone like your side unhappy. So it's like trying to meet you halfway sort of thing. And I thought, yeah, well, I'll definitely get them on the leg and put them on the card back. So
okay, well, I don't think I got anything else for you. I mean, you kind of stated your reason. I wanted to give you a platform. I felt like my viewers were seeing my side of everything, but I wanted to at least put both sides out there.
Yeah, I just think it's more the. I'm not saying it by this year, but just hate that people get, not just me, but just like bad, like hatred and cyberbullying away, just because of the reproduction side, because like you can't just let the minority just like take over because they're selling them as fit, like original or whatever. And it's one of those people just feel like they're getting told that they can't do it for their collections, and some people simply don't have a lot of money, and yet they love Star Wars. So I definitely see that side more. It's like because I've got friends like that. They don't have the money, but they love Star Wars. So.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot I don't have in my collection. I mostly just
But that's what I'm saying. Respect to you for being like that, but some people aren't like that. They want to come.
Yeah, and like I said, if somebody out there buys it and puts it in their collection, that's no problem with me. It's just what happens to it when they sell it. As long as I just don't want anybody to get ripped off. I think we both want that.
Oh yeah, we're both with that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you. I know we talked about it on YouTube, so I appreciate you reaching out to me so we could do this. And I appreciate you letting me see the figures hands on. That way, I can get a real review of it instead of just going off what people were telling me. So that's good. But I think that's all I got for you. Unless something else you want to add.
No, that's it. Thanks for having us in a nice conversation instead of slagging each other off.
Yeah, it's YouTube. People probably want us to muscling and scream and yell at each other, but
Yeah.
You know, it's just toys. We can't get that. We can't get out there about toys.
This is how I look at it. It's just toys, but
Yeah,
right.
but again, long as people can tell, I won't have a problem with it. But
Okay, man.
okay,
Right.
that's it. That's it.
Thank you very much.
And I'll let you plug your Facebook group or your site or wherever you got to. I'll be
Well, say it's the Facebook group.
okay. Yeah, it's just Smith Lord's Creations.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually getting the website put up soon, so.
Okay, I'll put a link to it. People probably say I'm promoting it. Maybe I am. Maybe complaining about it did worse than not saying nothing at all. But
Right.
you know, like it's all just for fun. And I'm glad you came in to say your side of it.
Right. Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks. That's it. Thanks, guys. Well, that's our interview, and I want to thank you for watching, and I want to thank Chris for coming on and talking with me about it. Again, I think it's good to have both sides of a story. I hate to do one video where I feel like I'm just attacking somebody or just shooting my views out there and not getting any feedback from someone else. So I feel like I've done my side of sharing both sides of the story. So I hope now we can kind of move on from the whole repo thing. I've said all I really had to say about it. Now it's all there for all you to see. You can watch my side, his side, and see the review of the figures themselves. And then you can decide, is repo good for the collector community, or is it a bad thing? Do you care about fake Star Wars figures, or do you only want the real deal? And hopefully now we've said all we need to say about fake Star Wars figures.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.